Mohammed bin Salman, Saudi Arabia's crown prince and de facto ruler, faces allegations of war crimes, orchestrating the murder of journalist Jamal Khashoggi, enforcing a brutal crackdown on dissenters, and leading a devastating war in Yemen, accused of jailing activists, silencing media, and imposing a totalitarian dictatorship. He's branded a war criminal and tyrant by critics. This documentary examines his alleged crimes through the lens of psychology and psychoanalysis, unraveling the mind behind a reign of fear and bloodshed. Why shine a spotlight on Mohammed bin Salman, or MBS as he's known? Because his alleged crimes, assassinations, mass executions, and a ruthless chokehold on freedom scream for psychological dissection. Picture this: a journalist lured into a consulate, dismembered alive with bone saw, his screams muffled by a hit squad's cold efficiency. In Yemen, bombs rain on weddings, schools, and hospitals, leaving thousands dead per the Yemen Data Project. Over 160,000 jailed for insulting him for foreign affairs, while activists face torture for a tweet. His war in Yemen, a humanitarian catastrophe with millions starving, per Amnesty International, and his global hunt for critics make MBS a chilling case study in how a leader's psyche can unleash horror on a scale that shakes the world. Let's step into the shadowed world of Mohammed bin Salman. Born in 1985 in Riyadh, MBS is the seventh son of King Salman and his third wife, Fatima bint Falah al-Havlain. Raised in the opulent Al Saud Palace, he was the eldest of his mother's 6 kids, a prince among dozens vying for power in a sprawling royal family. He studied law at King Saud University, graduating in 2007, and quickly became his father's advisor. By 2015, he was defense minister. By 2017, crown prince. And by 2022, prime minister, consolidating power like no Saudi before him. Married to Princess Sarah bint Mashhur with 5 children, his private life is guarded, but his public persona is a mix of reformer charm and ruthless control. Psychologically, MBS shows signs of malignant narcissism and paranoia, per a 2020 Saudi elite analysis. Narcissism drives his belief that he's Saudi Arabia's only savior, unable to share power, as seen in his 2017 purge of 381 elites, seizing $800 billion per Wikipedia. Paranoia, rooted in his youth among rival princes, makes him see threats everywhere, Kurds, journalists, even family like Mohammed bin Naif, arrested for treason in 2020 per Al Jazeera. Psychoanalytically, this reflects persecutory anxiety, where he projects his fears onto others, justifying their elimination. His upbringing in a palace where bad behavior had no consequences, per the BBC, fostered an impulsive streak, seen in his reckless Yemen war launch with just 12 hours' notice to allies, per Sir John Jenkins. What drives a prince to allegedly order assassinations and starve millions? MBS's actions, war crimes in Yemen, Khashoggi's murder and mass repression, suggest a malignant narcissism, where power is wielded to crush threats to his ego. His 2015 Yemen war, killing thousands of civilians, per the UN, uses dehumanization, framing Yemenis as Houthi proxies to justify bombings. His paranoia, per Saudi leaks, sees critics like Khashoggi as existential dangers, leading to calculated violence. Psychoanalytically, this is splitting, dividing the world into loyalists and enemies, with dissenters targeted for elimination. Why these victims? Journalists like Khashoggi, activists like Lajain al-Haflau, and even royals like bin Naif threaten his vision of absolute control. Khashoggi's Washington Post columns criticize MBS's reforms as shallow, making him a symbol of dissent. The method, brutal and public, sends a message. Khashoggi's 2018 murder, for the CIA, was ordered by MBS, executed by a 15-man hit squad in Istanbul's consulate. Activists face torture, per Amnesty, while Yemen civilians endure double-tap strikes, hitting first responders, per the UN. His media crackdowns, controlling 50% of outlets by 2010, per Hurriyet, silence truth, reflecting a need to control narratives. October 2nd, 2018, Istanbul. Jamal Khashoggi steps into Saudi Arabia's consulate, seeking wedding papers. Inside, a 15-man tiger squad waits, armed with a bone saw. Surveillance catches their preparations, per The Guardian. Khashoggi's screams echo as he's suffocated, dismembered alive, his body dissolved in acid per Turkish authorities. They dismembered the guy, Saad al-Jabri told CBS, claiming MBS targeted him next. In Yemen, 2016, a funeral in Sana'a is bombed, killing 155, wounding 500 per the UN. A second strike hits responders, a deliberate double-tap war crime. A Yemeni mother told Amnesty, "My son's body was in pieces. I collected him in a bag." In Saudi jails, activists like al-Haflal endure electric shocks and waterboarding, per Human Rights Watch, for demanding women's rights. The 2017 Ritz-Carlton purge saw 381 elites, including princes, chained and beaten, forced to sign over billions, per Wikipedia. In 2022, 196 executions, the highest in 30 years, per Amnesty, included youths as young as 12. A Shia activist, Israel Gamgam, faced beheading for protesting, per CNN. MBS's 2017 Qatar blockade, per Al Jazeera, starved a nation, escalating tensions. His 2018 kidnapping of Lebanese PM Saad Hariri, forcing his resignation, per Al Jazeera, shows a pattern of coercion. These aren't mistakes, they're calculated terror, designed to instill fear and crush resistance. MBS's Psyche is a storm of ambition and fear. A 2011 leadership trait analysis, cited by Sprinterlink, labels him dominant, distrusting, and dauntless, with narcissistic traits making him crave adoration. His paranoia, per Saudi leaks, stems from growing up among rival princes, fearing betrayal. The 2016 coup attempt against bin Nayef, per al-Jabri CBS interview, where MBS allegedly discussed poisoning King Abdullah, reveals a ruthless drive for power. Psychoanalytically, this is projective identification, displacing his insecurities onto rivals, justifying their elimination. His impulsive decisions, like the Yemen war, reflect a lack of consequence in his youth, per the BBC. His marriage to Sarah bint Mashhor, a distant cousin, reinforces his insular world, while his alliance with Trump, per Politico, fed his ego, offering U.S. protection for loyalty. His Vision 2030, per The Atlantic, is a narcissistic dream to be seen as a global reformer, but his arrests of women's rights activists, per CNN, show a fear of losing control. His sadistic streak, per Saudi leaks, emerges in torture reports, like al-Haflal's abuse, suggesting a need to dominate through pain. His isolation, per Saudi leaks, worsened post-Khashoggi, confining him to Neom, a futuristic city, reflecting a paranoid retreat from the world. The CIA's 2018 report, per Wikipedia, concluded with high confidence that MBS ordered Khashoggi's murder, backed by intercepted calls where his brother Khalid lured Khashoggi to the consulate. Human Rights Watch filed war crimes complaint in Argentina in 2018, per Forbes, citing Yemen's civilian deaths. Reporters Without Borders accused MBS of crimes against humanity in 2021, per The Guardian, for jailing 34 journalists. No ICC warrants have been issued, but his 2020 U.S. lawsuits, per The Washington Post, include al-Jabri's claims of an assassination plot. MBS denies all, claiming Khashoggi's death was a rogue act, per Wikipedia, and Saudi trials in 2019, criticized as opaque by Human Rights Watch, spared senior officials. MBS remains untouchable, his 2025 Trump visit strengthening his global standing, per Wikipedia. No arrests, no convictions. He rules with impunity. Existentialists like Sartre would argue his choices define him. His violence a deliberate embrace of power over morality. Determinists see a psyche shaped by a cutthroat royal upbringing and unchecked wealth, trapping him in a cycle of fear and control. His lack of remorse, per The Atlantic's interview where he dismissed Khashoggi as not among the top 1,000, suggests a narcissistic detachment from guilt. The question lingers. Is he a calculating psychopath or a prince molded by a brutal system? Saudi Arabia's jails overflow with dissenters, Yemen's children starve, and Khashoggi's fiancée, Hadissi Sengiz, told The Guardian, "I live with his absence every day." MBS's legacy is a kingdom silenced, its people cowering under his shadow. His story is a warning. When narcissism and power collide, the world pays in blood.